Alfredo, how are you?
I am doing great. Go Blue. And just before we start, if I could, let me begin by saying congratulations, Larry, to you on your appointment to the White House Commission on the Social Status of Black Men and Boys. President Trump couldn't have picked a better person for this commission, and I am thrilled that you're part of it. Congrats.
Well, Alfredo, thank you so much for that. I'm looking forward to it. I consider that to be the number one social problem in the country. The large and growing number of kids who are raised without fathers. It's particularly damaging in the black community.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And again, he couldn't have picked a better person for it. So congrats, Larry.
Alfredo is president and CEO, as I mentioned, of Job Creators Network. Alfredo, apparently President Trump sent out a tweet saying he was going to end the discussions with the other side about coronavirus relief. How is that going to affect the economy going forward?
Well, it's I understood why he did it, because I think Pelosi was just playing games. And at one point you just got to kind of say, you know what, I'm going to walk away and do this a little bit differently. My biggest concern, honestly, Larry, is the Paycheck Protection Program. Mm-hmm. What I'm still hoping is, because both sides agree on this, Larry, right? There's about $131 billion still left from the original program. It's already been allocated, sitting there. Let's go ahead and release it. Plus, let's go ahead and get that forgiveness solidified of the original Paycheck Protection Program, because these small businesses really need help, Larry. They are desperately needing help, and they're running out of cash, and especially the hospitality industry. I mean, I have to tell you, I've got, great colleagues who are running, the hospitality organizations like National Restaurants, American Hotel Lodging Association. I mean, these guys are fighting the fight of their lives, and we really need to support them. So again, from a small business perspective, that's my biggest concern, Larry.
Alfredo, I think I've read, this was a few months ago, so it's probably worse now, over 100,000 small businesses have closed their doors, very likely forever.
Yeah, you know what? In New York eateries, for example, I saw this staggering statistic, Larry. I mean, again, these Democrat mayors and governors are just ruining the livelihoods of so many people. But I read somewhere that 60 to 70% of all New York eateries are not going to make it to the end of the year. Imagine that. I mean, the bartenders, the hosts, the restaurateurs. I mean, this is a disaster, and we got to do something, by it. I mean, thank goodness, the numbers, the jobs report just came out, Larry. I think you're familiar, obviously, with that, and it came out. It was looking great. We're clearly moving in the right direction. 11 million jobs were created in the past 5 months. Unemployment, thank God, is now below 8%. But if it hadn't been for some of these Democratic governors, we'd be hovering more in like the 5.5% to 6% at this point. But the unemployment rates in these Democrat-run states are so darn high because they have these draconian ideas of what they need to do in their states. We got to stop that.
My guest is Alfredo Ortiz. He's president and CEO of Job Creators Network. We're talking about the economy, particularly as it affects small business people. Here's what we want you to do. Please go to keepamericaamerica.com right now. Complaining about the election, not an option. Doing nothing, not an option. We can't let our opponents outwork us. Go to keepamericaamerica.com. Do a little, do a lot. Do your part. Go to keepamericaamerica.com right now. Alfredo, you had a video that was censored by one of the tech companies, and all you did was show violence in the streets. Why were you censored?
It's crazy. All we literally did, Larry, is compile news stories, right? I mean, news stories. And we got censored. YouTube's decision is just a left-wing bias. We heard that. It's real. It amounts to censorship. I mean, it's crazy. They don't treat the left-wing videos like this that depict violence and protests with similar warnings, that depress view counts. I mean, this was unbelievable. We did nothing more than just compile news stories and make the point, right, that we've got to do something, that we've got to bring law and order to our streets, and that safety and security is paramount right now, especially, by the way, for our small business owners, entrepreneurs, and just our own personal safety.
Alfredo, I do about 3 videos a week up on YouTube, and like you, I just use news clips, and several of them have been restricted because of violating the community standards against violence. All I'm doing is showing news clips.
I know, exactly. I'm like, wait a minute. So then go ahead and censor CNN because they were CNN clips. Right? It's just ridiculous, Larry.
Alfredo, what can our friends, what can our neighbors, what can our co-workers do between now and election time?
Look, as you said, if they can go, it's a great campaign that's running. All of your colleagues are really part of this now. It's called keepamericaamerica.com. When you sign up, you're going to get an email with most up-to-date voting information in your zip code. It's using state-of-the-art trusted sources that you can rely on. You'll be sent reminders on tasks that can make a difference in November. We'll make it easy for you to recruit friends, family, and anyone else you know. Larry, we've got to remember the 2016 election wasn't decided by millions. It was decided by 11,000 votes in Michigan, 23,000 votes in Wisconsin, 44,000 votes in Pennsylvania. Elections are won. Thank God we still have an electoral college, right? Oh, my God. God help us if the Democrats take over on this, right? Because they'll get rid of that.
My guest has been Alfredo Ortiz, President and CEO of Job Creators Network. One more time, here's our call to action. Please go to keepamericaamerica.com right now. Complaining not an option, doing nothing not an option. Don't let the other guys outwork us. Go to keepamericaamerica.com. Do a little, do a lot. Do your part. Go to keepamericaamerica.com right now. Alfredo Ortiz, thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it.
You got it. Wow. Over 100,000 small businesses shut down altogether.